We learn many things at school. When we're young, everything is new.
Yeah, and we learn so many different things.
However, for this week's podcast on English.com, we ask, is it more difficult to learn things, new things, when we get older?
And the reason we are asking this is because Richard is having golf lessons, and it's not easy.
It is not easy.
So, Richard, when did you first learn? I mean, not at school, not as a child.
No, not at all. These are actually my first ever golf lessons.
Okay, but you already had a bag of golf clubs. So when did you buy those?
Back in the year 2000.
Okay, so some time ago.
Yes, I played a little bit, but very badly.
So, lessons, Richard. What are you learning in your lessons now?
Well, I'm going back to basics.
Right.
Okay. In the lessons, you learn how to hold a club,
Right.
how to stand, and how to swing your arms and twist your body to hit the ball correctly.
It all sounds a bit complicated.
There are a lot of things to think about in a short period of time. It's a big problem.
Okay, but do you also have problems like moving your body? I mean, Richard, you're not getting any younger.
Yes, that is a big problem. I'm not very flexible. I'm very stiff, and it's actually quite painful, some of the movements.
Right, so the next day?
Oh, the next day as well, yes. Aches and pains the next day.
Right. So, Richard, you have a coach.
Yes, he tells me what to do, but then I also practice by myself.
Right.
And I also watch YouTube videos as well.
You find those quite useful.
I think they are, yes, definitely.
Okay, so I have to ask, why are you having the lessons?
I want to get better. I'm a bad player. But the real reason I'm learning golf again is to keep fit.
Oh, so it's making you fitter.
Well, to go around on a golf course is a lot of walking.
Right.
It's really quite tiring.
Right.
So I want to keep fit.
Okay. So you are actually learning a new skill, Richard.
It all feels very new and very strange, yes.
Because they do say it is much harder for older people to learn a new skill. I mean, for example, learning to drive a car. In general, the older you get, the harder it is to pass the test. I think 17-year-olds, they'll pass first time. 63% of them will pass first time.
Right.
But people over the age of 60, their pass rate, 33%.
Wow, that is a huge difference.
Yeah, well, they do say you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Well, this old dog will keep trying. For this week's podcast on English.com, we're talking about clutter. So, Jackie, what is clutter?
Well, it's lots of things in a mess, isn't it? Too many untidy things.
Yes. Now, why are we talking about it?
The latest trend is that we all have too many things. We need to throw things away. We need a tidier house.
Why?
Because you feel better living in a tidy place and with fewer things. So, Richard, I think our house is now too untidy and we have too many things we don't use or need.
Yes, I agree. And I suppose for me, we can start with clothes.
Yes, Richard, you have clothes you don't wear. There are clothes you bought a long time ago that stay in the wardrobe.
I can't argue with that.
Now, you don't work in an office now, so you have smart shirts you don't wear for work.
Yes, true.
Ties.
Yes.
When was the last time you wore a tie?
For a wedding? Yes, true. I don't wear ties. I don't like them even.
No. You have shoes you don't wear and never will.
Mm,
True.
yes.
Also, Richard, you have clothes which are too big now.
Yes, I've lost weight. True.
And you have clothes which are rather scruffy.
Yes, I like my old clothes, I must admit.
Okay, socks. You need to throw away the socks, which are not in a pair.
Yes, and I have socks with holes in them as well, I must admit that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I will sort out my clothes. You need to sort out your office. Well, I mean, the area around your desk and your computer. You have paperwork everywhere.
No, okay, I admit it's horrible.
You've got folders full of stuff.
Yes, I need to put those somewhere.
And you've got envelopes, some old and some new.
But the old ones I want to recycle.
Yes, files, notebooks, letters.
I know.
You've even got old Christmas cards.
But I like them.
But you really need to throw them away.
I know, some of the birthday cards I have from years ago. I think also, Richard, the main problem we both have is all the books. We've got loads and loads of books.
That's true. Some we will read again, but I think many we won't. We do need to get rid of some of those.
And also, Richard, what about the CDs? We've got loads of CDs.
Yes, and we never play them. We play things online now, don't we?
We don't even have a CD player.
Okay, let's spend 15 minutes or maybe half an hour every day going through our things and deciding what to keep and what to throw away.
Good idea.
Little by little, we'll get rid of our stuff.
এখন আমরা শিখব গুরুত্বপূর্ণ কিছু ফ্রেজ যেগুলো রিলেটেড অ্যান্ড ইউজড করা হয়েছে এই পডকাস্টে। লেটস গেট স্টার্টেড। নাম্বার 1, থ্রু থিংস ওয়ে। থ্রু থিংস ওয়ে, এমন কিছু ফেলে দেওয়া যার দরকার নেই বা ব্যবহার করা হচ্ছে না। ফর এক্সাম্পল, আই নিড টু থ্রু ওয়ে দ্য ওল্ড ম্যাগাজিনস দ্যাট আর জাস্ট ফিলিং আপ। আমি পুরনো ম্যাগাজিনগুলো ফেলে দেই বা দিতে হবে যা শুধু জমে আছে। Number 2, feel better living in a tidy place. Feel better living in a tidy place. পরিষ্কার গোছানো পরিবেশে থাকা প্রায় মানসিক অবস্থার উন্নতি ঘটায়। For example, after cleaning the living room, I felt much more relaxed and happier. লিভিং রুম পরিষ্কার করার পর আমি অনেক বেশি আরামদায়ক ও সুখী অনুভব করলাম। Number 3, stay in the wardrobe. Stay in the wardrobe. পোশাকগুলো যা কখনো পরা হয় না এবং আলমারিতে পড়ে থাকে। ফর এক্সাম্পল, দোজ উইন্টার কোটস জাস্ট স্টে ইন দ্য ওয়ার্ড্রোব ডিউরিং সামার। শীতের কোটগুলো সারা বছর আলমারিতেই পড়ে থাকে। নাম্বার 4, স্টে সর্ট আউট। নাম্বার 4, সর্ট আউট। সর্ট আউট, কোনো জিনিসপত্রগুলোকে সাজানো বা গুছিয়ে নেওয়া, সাধারণত কী রাখতে হবে আর কী ফেলে দিতে হবে তার নির্ধারণ করা। ফর এক্সাম্পল, I need to sort out my books and donate the ones that I don't read anymore. আমাকে আমার বইগুলো গুছিয়ে নিতে হবে এবং যেগুলো আর পড়ব না সেগুলো দান করে দিতে হবে। নাম্বার 5, লিটল বাই লিটল। লিটল বাই লিটল, ধীরে ধীরে বা এক ধাপ করে, তাড়াহুড়ো না করে। ফর এক্সাম্পল, উই ক্যান ক্লিন দ্য হাউস লিটল বাই লিটল এভরি ডে। আমরা প্রতিদিন একটু একটু করে ঘর পরিষ্কার করতে পারি। নাম্বার 6, গেট রিড অফ। গেট রিড অফ, অপ্রয়োজনীয় কিছু সরিয়ে ফেলা বা পরিত্রাণ পাওয়া। ফর এক্সাম্পল, উই নিড টু গেট রিড অফ দ্য ব্রোকেন ফার্নিচার ইন দ্য অ্যাটিক। আমাদের পুরনো ভাঙা আসবাবপত্রগুলো থেকে পরিত্রাণ পেতে হবে। নাম্বার 7, গো থ্রু। গো থ্রু, কিছু ভালোভাবে পরীক্ষা করা বা পর্যবেক্ষণ করা, সাধারণত কী রাখবো আর কি ফেলে দেব তার নির্ধারণ করা। লেটস গো থ্রু দিস ওল্ড বক্সেস অ্যান্ড সি হোয়াট উই ক্যান ডোনেট। এসো এই পুরনো বাক্সগুলো দেখে নেই এবং দেখি কি দান করা যায়। আশা করছি তোমাদের এই পডকাস্টটি ভালো লেগেছে অ্যান্ড এরকমের আরও অনেক পডকাস্ট পেতে সামনে চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করো আর এই 7টা ফ্রেজ তোমরা প্র্যাকটিস করো অ্যান্ড দৈনন্দিন কনভারসেশনে ইউজ করো। হ্যাভ এ গুড ডে। সি ইউ ইন দ্য নেক্সট ভিডিও।
week's podcast on English.com, we're talking about clutter. So, Jackie, what is clutter?
Well, it's lots of things in a mess, isn't it? Too many untidy things.
Yes. Now, why are we talking about it?
The latest trend is that we all have too many things. We need to throw things away. We need a tidier house.
Why?
Because you feel better living in a tidy place and with fewer things. So, Richard, I think our house is now too untidy and we have too many things we don't use or need.
Yes, I agree. And I suppose for me, we can start with clothes.
Yes, Richard, you have clothes you don't wear. There are clothes you bought a long time ago that stay in the wardrobe.
I can't argue with that.
Now, you don't work in an office now, so you have smart shirts you don't wear for work.
Yes, true.
Ties.
Yes.
When was the last time you wore a tie?
For a wedding? Yes, true. I don't wear ties. I don't like them even.
No. You have shoes you don't wear and never will. True.
Yes.
Also, Richard, you have clothes which are too big now.
Yes, I've lost weight. True.
And you have clothes which are rather scruffy.
Yes, I like my old clothes, I must admit.
Okay, socks. You need to throw away the socks which are not in a pair.
Yes, and I have socks with holes in them as well, I must admit that.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I will sort out my clothes. You need to sort out your office. Well, I mean the area around your desk and your computer. You have paperwork everywhere.
No, okay, I admit it's horrible.
You've got folders full of stuff.
Yes, I need to put those somewhere.
And you've got envelopes, some old and some new.
But the old ones I want to recycle.
Yes, files, notebooks, letters.
I know.
You've even got old Christmas cards.
But I like them.
But you really need to throw them away.
I know, some of the birthday cards I have from years ago. I think also, Richard, the main problem we both have is all the books. We've got loads and loads of books.
That's true. Some we will read again, but I think many we won't. We do need to get rid of some of those.
And also, Richard, what about the CDs? We've got loads of CDs.
Yes, and we never play them. We play things online now, don't we?
We don't even have a CD player.
Okay, let's spend 15 minutes or maybe half an hour every day going through our things and deciding what to keep and what to throw away.
Good idea.
Little by little, we'll get rid of our stuff.
Here are some useful phrases and idioms from the podcast about clutter, along with explanations that you can use in everyday English. Let's get started. First one, throw things away. Throw things away, meaning to discard or get rid of things you no longer need or use. For example, I need to throw away the old magazines that are just peeling up. Number 2, feel better living in a tidy place. Feel better living in a tidy place, meaning being in a clean, organized environment often improves your mood or sense of well-being. For example, after cleaning the living room, I felt much more relaxed and happier. Number 3, stay in the wardrobe. Stay in the wardrobe, meaning clothes that remain unworn and unused in the closet. For example, those winter coats just stay in the wardrobe during summer. Number 4, sort out. Sort out, meaning to organize or deal with a collection of things, usually by deciding what to keep and what to discard. For example, I need to sort out my books and donate the ones I don't read anymore. Number 5, little by little. Little by little, meaning gradually or step by step without rushing. For example, we can clean the house little by little every day. Number 6, get rid of. Get rid of, meaning to remove or eliminate something unwanted. For example, we need to get rid of the broken furniture in the attic. Number 7, go through. Go through, meaning to examine or inspect something carefully, often deciding what to keep or throw away. For example, let's go through these old boxes and see what we can donate. These phrases are not only great for discussing clutter, but also useful in everyday conversations about organizations and tidying up. So thank you so much for watching the podcast, and I will see you at the next time.
In the last podcast for level 1, we talked about Richard having an accident. But for this week's podcast on English.com, we're talking about why he needs to go to the hospital again. Not another accident, Richard. Tell us what happened.
No, not an accident. But a few weeks ago, we went swimming.
To a river beach?
We went to a river beach. We have rivers here with safe areas for swimming in.
Right.
And of course, I like to swim underwater. And then when I got out, my ears were blocked. Some water had got in my ears and I couldn't get the water out.
Now, that's not the first time. That's quite normal for you, isn't it?
It happens from time to time, yes.
Okay, Richard, you're not deaf, are you?
No, I can just about hear you now, but I am hard of hearing. It is difficult to hear things.
So what problems does that create?
Well, obviously, we like watching the television in the evenings, and it's simply too quiet. I can't really hear it very well. So we need to turn the volume up loud, and you don't like that, do you?
No.
Also, I can't hear the telephone, and I certainly can't speak to anyone on the telephone. It's not good. And of course, I can't hear you speaking very well either.
Yeah, it's annoying for me as well because I have to speak more loudly. And also, I have to repeat things a lot.
And certainly, I can't hear you if you're in another room and you shout at me. I can't hear that.
Yeah, having to shout is very annoying. Luckily, with the television, Richard, we do have subtitles.
Yes, they help.
But it does give you a small idea about what it's like to be deaf all the time.
Must be awful. I really don't want to learn sign language. That must be very difficult.
And even if two people can do the sign language, you still need to be standing in front of each other.
You must be face to face, yes.
Yeah, you can't be in another room. So, Richard, you're off to the hospital. Is it painful?
It's not painful, no. I did go to the doctor and she gave me some oil, some eardrops to put in my ears, but unfortunately it hasn't made a difference. In fact, it's worse now than it was before. So she's recommended that I see a specialist in the hospital and hopefully they can clean my ears out.
Right.
And then I can hear properly again.
You know what worries me, Richard, is that sometimes when someone has problems with hearing, they also have problems with balance.
Oh dear.
And the last thing I want is for you to fall over again and have another accident. For this week's podcast on English.com, we're talking about something people do all the time, but we do very differently.
Yes, the other day we went into a supermarket and bought loads of things. Food and drink for the week ahead. Not much fresh stuff, as we get that from the market. Now that's all very normal.
Yeah, but you, Richard, you also bought something for yourself. You bought a shirt.
Very nice.
Tell me about the shirt.
Well, it's a blue cotton shirt, smart casual, I'd say.
Right. Now, it's not the first thing you bought from the supermarket, Richard. What other clothes do you have?
Well, I often buy socks from the supermarket. I bought jeans.
I think you also have a smarter pair of trousers as well.
Yes.
A coat. You have a coat?
Yes, a coat with a hood.
Right. Anything else? A few T-shirts, I think.
Yes, a few T-shirts, definitely.
So it's quite usual for you to buy clothes from the supermarket.
Well, you know me, Jackie. I'm not very trendy, am I? So I like just to get practical clothes, everyday clothes that are well made but not too expensive. And for me, the supermarket is the best place to buy these things.
But the other day, Richard, you also bought a pair of shoes and a hat. You didn't buy those in the supermarket, did you?
No, I got those from the market.
From a market stall.
Yes, but Portugal is famous for making well-made shoes, and these were a really nice pair of leather shoes.
And again, not very expensive, Richard.
Well, they're made locally.
And the hat?
The hat was just like a baseball hat.
For the summer.
Yes.
A summer hat.
What about you, though, Jackie? I know you didn't buy any clothes, but recently I know you popped into a material shop, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought some material to make a dress. I hate clothes shop. I never see anything I like. And so most of my clothes, a lot of my clothes, I make myself because I want clothes that fit. You know, they're the right size, they're not too big and not too small, and they're not the same clothes that everybody else is wearing.
So what sort of things do you make then, Jackie?
Well, you know, dresses, skirts and tops. But don't forget, Richard, I also knit.
Yes.
So socks, hats.
And I need another jumper.
Richard has a problem. He has hurt his hand. So for this week's podcastandenglish.com, we're talking about accidents in the home. Richard, what happened?
Well, it's not my hand, actually. It's my finger.
Yeah.
As you know, we bought a new kitchen knife, which is very sharp. And I was cutting vegetables. I wasn't looking properly, and I cut my finger.
Now, did you say it hurt?
It did actually hurt. Afterwards, it hurt, and there was quite a lot of blood.
Yeah, so what did you do?
Well, I put a plaster on.
Yeah.
It seems to be okay now.
Yeah. Okay, Richard, but this is not the first accident in the home for you, is it?
No, I'm a bit accident prone, aren't I? Last year, I was getting the chicken out of the oven, and I burnt my hand.
I remember that.
And also, I remember doing the washing up once. I was washing up glasses. A glass broke, and I cut my hand again.
Oh, yes, that was painful.
It wasn't good, was it?
But, okay, when you were a child as well, did you have accidents?
Oh, Jackie, I used to have accidents all the time.
Your poor mum.
I know. I remember one day I was playing in the kitchen. I slipped and I banged my head on the corner of the table.
Oh, that sounds horrible.
It was. It wasn't very nice at all.
Did you cry?
I'm sure I did. I had a very big lump afterwards, that's for sure.
Now, we do have a first aid kit, don't we?
Yes, just as well. Lots of plasters in it.
Yeah, what else do we have in there? We have some creams.
Yes, creams for...
Antiseptic cream.
Antiseptic cream. If you get bites or stings, creams for that as well. And of course, pills.
Headache pills.
Headache pills and painkillers.
And we have a thermometer.
We do, don't we? In
A
case
new one.
in case we get a fever, but I don't think we've used that.
No.
I also remember as a child, one day I spilled a hot cup of tea on my arm.
You burnt your arm.
I burnt my arm as well, yes.
Honestly,
yes.
Richard. Well, they do say that boys have more accidents than girls.
I'm not surprised.
Ireland, England and Wales have 4 patron saints. So for this week's podcast on English.com, I'm asking Richard about them. Right, Richard, easy question first. Name the saints.
I think I can do that. St George for England, St Andrew for Scotland, St Patrick for Ireland, and St David for Wales.
Fantastic. In the calendar year, which one comes first?
So I know St Patrick is a very famous day. I think that's in March. But I also think St David's in March, the 1st of March.
Yeah.
I'll say him.
Yeah, you're right. Followed by St. Patrick, March the 17th.
Okay.
And then, of course, George is in April and Andrew in November.
Okay.
Now, interestingly, Richard, only one of them was born in that country.
Right. It's not St George because I know he's Turkish.
Right.
He never came to England. St Patrick, I think he was a Roman, I'm not sure. So I think it's David or Andrew. I'll say David.
That's correct. David was Welsh, but St. Andrew, Richard. Who was St. Andrew?
I don't know.
Really?
Really?
He was one of Jesus' 12 apostles.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And St. Patrick came from England.
Okay, right, okay.
Richard, 2 of the patron saints were killed
Right,
for being Christians.
okay.
And they are...
Well, St Andrew was a follower of Jesus, so he was killed. And I think St George, he was a soldier, wasn't he, in the Roman army?
It was the Roman emperor.
Ah, okay.
And he was killed because he was a Christian.
Right.
Yeah, and the other 2 were just bishops, so they died of old age.
David and Patrick.
Yeah, exactly. Now, which one is connected with snakes?
St Patrick. I know this because there are no snakes in Ireland.
Because...
He drove them out.
Right, I'm not sure if that's true. Which one is connected to the dragon?
St George. Every English person knows that St George killed the dragon.
Yes, although there was no dragon.
Okay.
Which one do you think is the patron saint of fishermen?
St Andrew.
Because...
He was a fisherman in Galilee.
Exactly. So the last one, who is the patron saint of vegetarians?
St David.
Do you know why?
No.
I think it's something to do with the fact they like leeks so much.